The challenges out there are pretty much the lack of awareness. So that's the issue, that people still look at people with disabilities as people who are sick, who need to fix something, and that's the mindset that we're changing at I'm Inclusive by increasing awareness about the people with disabilities, about advocating for the skills that a person has rather than the resume or the medical report that a person has. So the unconscious bias includes the fact that when we say a person with disability, people still have a certain image that comes into your mind, like whether it be a person on a wheelchair, whether it be a person that has autism or Down syndrome. Whatever image that you get in your mind when you think about a person with disability, there are chances that 80% of people with disabilities do not look like that. So there is a constant need to educate ourselves, make our processes more inclusive for people with disabilities. Sometimes, okay, someone will tell me that, we're not opposed to hiring people with disabilities, we just don't get applicants. That's because your recruitment process is not accessible for people with disabilities. For people to actually open up about their disabilities, employers need to ensure that their employees know that you're open to welcoming people with disabilities. Doing awareness session within the organizations, having plans for employees who may acquire disability. Disability is not just something you're born with. People acquire disabilities all the time. So having a plan in place, having policies in place for employees with disability gives the employees confidence that, okay, my employer will support me if I tell them that I have a disability. So the quota system, I personally have a love-hate relationship with the quota system, because yes, it does open doors, but it also forces organizations into doing something they're often not ready to do. That means that disability inclusion becomes like a checklist hire for them. Organizations are not ready to welcome people with disabilities. Often then they don't give any work to these people with disability. So within countries where quota hiring is mandated by the government, we often find these cases where organizations hire people with disabilities, and then they're just at home doing no work. A biggest concern about including people with disabilities into the workforce is organizations assume that there's a lot of budget that needs to be allocated for people with disabilities to make their facilities accessible for people with disabilities, where in fact just the simple process of opening remote work opportunities for their employees will help people with disabilities apply for that jobs, so that they can work from environments that they're comfortable in, whether it be for people with physical disabilities who require an accessible washroom or an accessible ramp to access workplace, or it be for people with cognitive difficulties who require certain calmness in their environment to do their work that's needed to be done. So there is a concept called diversity, equity, and inclusion. So when we talk about the term equity, that's giving the person what they need to do a job. So if the individual you're talking about requires shorter working hours, maybe she needs to do part-time work, opening up that sort of an opportunity for that individual might be benefit. So there are always ways to go about it. We just need to open our mindsets and open our doors for people with disabilities. There are two answers for this. The first answer is the business case. There are over 1 billion people with disabilities out there. If you look at not including 1 billion people in the workforce, you're missing out on a lot of talent out there. And you're looking out on a lot of diverse perspective that could be included in your organization. Having no employees with disability means that you do not understand your customers who might be with disabilities as well. So that's the business case of it. And then there's I would say a social case for it as well. anyone can acquire a disability. I could acquire a disability tomorrow. And then what do I do? Am I out of work? Is the organization I've been working with for like the past 10 years not going to accept me anymore? That's not something we could face. Uh, as we get older, often people get, acquire certain disabilities. Accidents happen, people acquire disabilities. So you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So preparing yourself today and your organizations today means that you're preparing for a future for someone that you may know personally and you haven't met yet. So yeah.